people. It won't be an elected
We're so cooked, bro. Nobody gives a fuck about any of this. Straight up.
official that's going to save us here. We're going to have to say enough is enough.
Yeah, and how do you speak to that, Mick? Could you, about the us versus we? Because it is very concerning.
It is. I think Ashley's right. It's not going to be a politician that saves us, for lack of a better word. One politician didn't get us into this problem.
Like, the wild part about this is, like, that's Mick Mulvaney, okay? Hello? You're sitting across from Mick Mulvaney. CBS, you hired Mick Mulvaney. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear from you motherfuckers talking about how democracy dies in the darkness or whatever, dude. What are you doing? Like, did you have to have that guy? You gotta have him, dude.
Petition that
He literally worked for Trump. It doesn't. It just says CBS News contributor. Okay, that's Trump's guy.
saves us, for lack of a better word. One politician didn't get us into this problem. One politician is not going to get us out. People ask me, how do you fix Washington? I'm like, Washington doesn't really lead. Washington reflects the nation.
He is, which, by the way, calling a Michael Mick is weird, okay? But it's even weirder that, like, the fucking former White House chief of staff under Donald Trump is on this fucking panel, okay? It's like, dude, you are the former White House chief of staff, okay? Under the Trump administration. You are literally a part of the problem. You also claimed, if I'm not mistaken, that, like, oh, Trump wouldn't pull anything. Like, don't worry. And then was like, oh, never mind. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was. He did say that. If he loses, Trump will concede gracefully. You're owned. You're fucking owned, man. You wrote a Wall Street Journal opinion piece on November 7th saying if he loses, Trump will concede gracefully. Like, you were in the fucking room and you were so disastrously wrong. That's crazy. Why would anybody be like, yo, this fucking loser? We need his insightful commentary on the situation.
The reason Washington is so divided is that the country is. How do you fix that? It's a harder question, but don't look to Washington.
Like, it's just funny because, like, there is perhaps no better indication that a dude who's talking in this circumstance knows nothing than writing a fucking article that was so disastrously wrong. Like, you guys will be like, Hasan, you were wrong on Ukraine. It's like, bro, it's like if I was Vladimir Putin, if I was Vladimir Putin's butt boy, and I literally fucking said, Russia is not going to invade Ukraine, I promise you, they would never do that, okay? And then CBS was like, we need to have you on our morning shows, okay? It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, motherfucker, you were in the room. You were in the room. How do you get that wrong? It's crazy.
Washington to fix this. Look to us to fix it.
But when it comes to the election deniers, though, that primarily is the Republican Party, and that
it's like if Joseph Goebbels was on CNN saying how Hitler would totally chill out if you do the appeasement. It just sucks. It's an indication that, like, the media is in on it. It is yet another indication that, like, you know, people talk about, like, libtard media, whatever, but, like, yeah, they don't give a shit. They don't. Yes, libtard media, shockingly, does not give a shit. Okay,
I think has led to many problems.
No, that's not true. Look, January 6th is what it is. It was awful. It's terrible. That's not. I'm not here to defend that. But right. Democrats have denied election results just as much as Republicans.
See, if you look at that. That's not true. That's just not true. Democrats are such fucking pussies that, like, in instances where election interference has happened, where, like, they had every right to, like Al Gore in 2000. They still concede. That's just an insane fabrication. Why are you, like, allowing this lie to continue? Do you really have to have Mick Mulvaney on the panel? God damn it. God, I hate this country so much. It's just not true. but they're like, we need to have Mick Mulvaney, Donald Trump's very own chief of staff, who is not only in the room for a lot of these fucking opinions, he was also just demonstrably wrong. We need to have that guy come on and keep fucking like saying, well, both sides are bad, when it's not the truth, okay? That's just not true.
Take January 6th out of the equation.
Like, Democrats suck, okay? They're awful. They're pathetic. They're sniveling cowards. They do not care. They are controlled opposition to the fucking creeping ascent towards fascism that we are engaging in, okay? They play their own goddamn role. But let's not make a mistake when it comes to the fucking election interference shit, or like the psychotic nonsense, the ramblings that you hear. It's a one-sided thing. There aren't Democrats, okay? Libtards are not calling up with fake bomb threats and acting like they're going to fucking blow up a polling station. Okay? That's not a liberal thing. That's not a Democrat thing. That's a Republican thing. There is no 3%ers equivalent within the Democratic Party that get together on the weekends and play patty cakes with the fucking AR-15s and act like they're going to 360 no-scope people that are dropping off fucking ballots because they watched a documentary by America's most incompetent, corrupt documentarian, Dinesh D'Souza, who is so fucking stupid that he couldn't even do bribery right. In a country where you can literally just bribe every politician, you have literally just... You have the opportunity by way of super PACs to bribe every politician with an unlimited amount of funds. And this fucking idiot is so stupid, he couldn't even do that right. Like, getting arrested for political donations in this fucking country is so insane to me. It's like getting arrested for tax fraud. It's like getting arrested for insider trading. What are you, fucking stupid? It's literally just like one of the things that they have made legal. It's quite literally legal. And you still fucked it up. That guy made another documentary. Okay, the last time Dinesh D'Souza caught a W when he fucked Laura Ingraham at Cornell University. That's it. And maybe Ann Coulter as well. That's it. That motherfucker's been L after L after L. His entire existence is just taking L after L after L, okay? Come on, what are you going to act like that's not a W for Dinesh? Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God, he was swinging way above his weight class with that. Jesus Christ, dude. Come on, bro. You can't spread conspiracies like that. No shot Dinesh pulled that. Yeah? You think he didn't pull that off? Anyway. I go to Cornell right now. I'm a freshman. I didn't know there were so many white nationalists here until she showed up. You're orientalizing blonde white women again? Okay, a little bit. You're right.
That's just factually not
I
true.
gotta pee, I'll be
there are
back.
hundreds of Republican candidates on the ballot tonight who have denied the outcome of the last election. There's nothing like that on the Democratic
Stacey Abrams
side.
still has to admit she lost last time she ran in Georgia. Look, again, this is the debate, right?
Right.
Why can't we all agree that everybody's a little bit at risk, and a little bit at fault, and we try and fix it, as opposed to everybody saying, well, it's got to be a Republican fault, and until they change, the country's not going to fix.
Nancy, I want to get to you in a bit, but Mick, I want to touch on something you said. You said politicians, they can't save us, but they sure can divide us. And we hope that politicians reflect this country, but it seems like instead of a reflection, it's an injection of divisiveness. So why don't you believe that politicians are at the crux of why we are so divided, why it is us versus them during this time of year?
Because
during all times of year, to be honest with you.
Politicians derive their power from the people that vote for them. There's no magic sort of black, dark hand of an invisible hand in Washington, D.C., looking to the extremes in both parties and saying, send me Marjorie Taylor Greene and send me AOC. That's not how it works. The people in those districts look at those people and say, those are the folks that best represent me. Why don't we send them to Washington, D.C.? That's what I struggle with.
Nancy.
In the interview last night, Nancy Pelosi said that what has happened to her husband will affect her decision about whether she will remain in politics. What do you think? How do you think she's leaning? Because the way she said it, on one hand, you could say she's not going on anywhere.
Right.
On the other hand, she seemed to be saying, I've had enough. This has deeply affected my family.
Well, there have long been questions about whether she would actually stay and serve out this term if her party does lose control of the House. Does she really want to be House Minority Leader again? At the same time, for some years now, there have been younger members of the party who have been pushing for new leadership at the top. They want somebody fresh. They want someone new. At the same time, it's always been difficult to identify who's the person in the Democratic Party who has her negotiating skills, her relationship, her fundraising ability, her ability to bring a very rambunctious party together. There have been some names that have been floated: Hakeem Jeffries of New York, Adam Schiff of California. And there's also a question about what her deputies would do if she were to step down. James Clyburn of South Carolina and Steny Hoyer of Maryland, they're both in their 80s as well.
Ashley, as we anticipate the Republicans being favored to win the House, there already is some finger pointing when it comes to messaging among the Democrats. What is something that you wish they would have done differently?
No, I think it's accurate. I mean, I think there's a lot of frustration within the party. Folks feel like we should have.
Let's hear it. Defund the police, I think. Yeah, that's what that. I think AOC. I think AOC, defund the police. I think too much socialism. That's what I think.
Lean more into the economy, inflation. Others feel like we did a great job of sort of doing a D-strategy and all the above messaging. I mean, I would have advised the president differently. He had really big wins in a bipartisan way. Probably the most productive first term we've seen in modern history of any president. I would have advised him to find a way to elevate those bipartisan successes and those accomplishments, wrap his arms around Republicans that he did that with.
I can't. I mean, dude, Republicans are literally saying every Democrat is like a pedophile election stealer, okay? And like more than half of their fucking candidates are literally running on the Democrats are pedophile election theft people ticket. And you have people on CBS Mornings being like, you know what Joe Biden really missed out on? Hugging and kissing those guys. They're baby killing, pedophile, transing your teenager election stealers. Okay? That's what Democrats are. Oh, also, they want every criminal out in the streets to like rape your children. That's another part I forgot. That's of course that's another thing. And they purposely tank the economy. They deliberately tank the economy so that you would starve, and they want open borders.
Right? And then to demonstrate to the American people that democracy can still work, that we can still do big things together. The president ran on a message of healing.
Yes.
That seems to have been lost.
Yeah.
But I think
Oh my God. The only reason why fucking Joe Biden won over Donald Trump is because people did not want someone as fucking insane as Donald Trump. And it came right after Donald Trump had also, one, tanked the economy because of COVID, kind of outside of his fucking power, let's be real. And two, was literally just like, so many people were just fucking dying. Okay? Like, COVID was almost a blessing for the Dems, if you would think about it that way. If you can get over the fucking fact that hundreds of thousands of people fucking died, in the sense that like they were able to win an election as a consequence of that. That's it. Without COVID, there's no Democratic victory there. Okay? No, at the time it was hundreds of thousands. Now it's million. I know. Guys, I need to say something here that a lot of people don't comprehend, I think. A lot of people forgot about this. Donald Trump got COVID like a week before the election. Okay? There is no greater holy grail Hail Mary layup. And even then, Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, it was like still, a little too close for comfort. I mean, come on, dude. It is crazy. it's absolute madness to think that, like, the messaging there was what fucking mattered. Oh, the Unite America messaging. Like, that doesn't mean anything. Dems lost a ton of House seats in the House in 2020 as well. They underperformed expectations. Yeah, it's just fucking crazy. Democrats literally won because, like, the gates of hell opened up and gave a major fucking W to the Democrats. And even then, it wasn't that good. There was no incredibly adequate messaging that helped Democrats win and that they should just repeat that. It's not like Joe Biden isn't still talking about, healing the country or whatever. He is. He probably still thinks he's running on the 2020 platform. He probably still thinks it's 2020. It's Joe Brandon. He's demented.
Had he sort of come together with Republicans to say, look, America, democracy still works.
Yeah.
Not that it's under threat, but what's under threat is the progress that we've made together, both Democrats and Republicans. I think that would have gone a long way. It would have also helped to neutralize the extremes in both parties and build a bigger, broader coalition for him going into the midterms in 2024.
You're right. There are extremes in both parties. And some people, when they think extremes, Mick, they think Donald Trump, who's made it very clear.
Who's an extremist in the Democratic Party? Who? Come on. Who is an extremist in the Democratic Party? What is the extreme? You can't just say that and then move on. I need to hear what you mean. What are the extreme positions that the fucking AOC or Bernie Sanders? He says, Bernie Sanders and AOC, you cuck. Yeah, exactly. I know you're memeing. You're a 6-month subscriber. I know that you're like making it seem like that's what people believe. But that's my point. My point is, like, what is the extremist position that AOC holds? Okay? What is an extremist position that AOC holds that is so profoundly radical that it is unimaginable? Okay? What is it? Like, a Medicare for all? Is that what we're doing? That's the extremist position? Marjorie Taylor Greene is just like fucking shooting a Prius that says the Democratic Party on it with a fucking 50 cal that she is going to give to one of her voters, okay, as a gift. Meanwhile, AOC's like, people shouldn't die because they can't pay for medicine.
Clear. He has a big announcement next week.
Big announcement.
We all believe that huge. We all
Nick,
believe.
do you know what that announcement is?
We all believe he's going to run. As someone who knows him well, do you think that he should lead the Republican Party again?
No,
Should he
and
run for president?
I've said that very candidly. I think he's the only Republican who can lose in 2024. My party is ready for generational change.
Bro, this guy is so wrong, dude. Mick Mulvaney is so wrong. He's just the most wrong person. That is so dumb. This is literally brainwashing liberals into thinking that Donald Trump is not, like, truly the leader of the Republican Party right now. That is so fucking stupid. This guy's getting paid 6 figures to just lie to your fucking liberal grandparents on CBS mornings. I am losing my fucking mind.
We have really good folks on the bench. Ron DeSantis, Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, Mike Pompeo, Mike Pence. Go down the list.
What should the Republican...
What? Mike Pence, shut the fuck up. Mike Pence would lose to Joe Biden's corpse, okay? That is an awful list. That is an awful bench. Is Donald Trump, maybe Ron DeSantis could put up a fucking fight, but that's it. Oh my God, dude. This guy's such a fucking dumbass. Why is he doing political commentary on CBS?
priorities be at this point right now?
Priorities should be generational change. We can get the policies of Donald Trump without having Donald Trump on the.
I love when liberals are like, let's find the most libbed up fucking pathetic loser cuck on the Republican side, who otherwise, like the Republican side is full of fucking demonic figures, but they're demons that win. You know, let's go find the one fucking pathetic liberal who's just wrong all the goddamn time. And let's put him up there as the representation of Republican politics. Meanwhile, you want to know the true representation of Republican politics? A person that sits there, looks across the table from Gayle and says, your best friend Oprah is a Satanist. That is the real Republican Party. The real face of the Republican Party would sit there and say, demon, you're a demon. And I bet you stole election. I bet you stole ballots on your off time. You demon! You're trying to trans my child. That's the face of the Republican Party. You're responsible for crimes on the street. Every city is on fire. Black people are doing crimes and getting released back into public. You know?
The ticket. If Donald Trump's on the ticket, the election will be about him. You either vote for him or against him. In all candor, no one voted for Joe Biden in 2020. They either voted for or against Donald Trump. Donald Trump is one of the few people who can beat Donald Trump. If he's on the ticket, the election becomes about him instead of about the issues that we want to push. When we had a chance this time around to push the issues we want to talk about, inflation and crime and safety, we're doing well. We don't get that chance with Trump.
One thing we know for sure, he still has influence on the Republican Party.
Yeah, Donald Trump on line 2 for you, Mick.
Nancy Cortez, Ashley Etienne, and of course, Mick.
You're a fucking loser, dude. Jesus
With senior
Christ.
correspondent Alicia Acuña.
Arizona officials are reporting voting machine issues. This is Brett Baer. I believe Brett Baer is on this, maybe. They're already pumping the fucking narrative. This is not even Brett Baer. Brett Baer has some fucking stupid shit to say about this too. Here, this is part of the narrative. Let's watch. It's hogwatch time, baby. You want to know the truth about the Republican Party? You want to know what Republicans actually feel like? You want to know how they operate? You got to go to the Republican outlets. You can't go to CBS Morning and hear from Mick Mulvaney. Okay? The people that are on liberal news, mainstream media that does not feature, that isn't like Fox News, they do not represent anyone. Okay? They don't represent the Democratic Party's voter base adequately, and they do not represent the Republican Party at all, okay? They live in fucking fantasy land. The fantasy land where, like, everyone is just trying to do centrism, okay? Everyone wants to vote for centrism. Everyone wants to vote for decency and civility. That's not a real fucking base, okay? Did I say Republican farty? I don't fucking know what I'm saying right now.
Correspondent Alicia Acuña.